out and away we... Bing bang!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Paddock Talk podcast. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Scott.
And today we're going to be doing a little dual episode. We're going to be reviewing kind of a boring race from Baku and then previewing Miami.
Yeah, see, what you should have said was we were reviewing a boring race from Baku and previewing an even more boring race here in Miami.
Hasn't happened yet.
Just kidding. I know. I like to set myself up for my expectations where they're going to be. I don't want to get too amped for another F1 weekend and just be disappointed like I was last weekend.
Yeah, it kind of seems even the last 2 races have been a little boring to me. I don't know how you felt, but
yeah, Australia. Well, Australia wasn't horrible. It was, as we talked prior, it was interesting, crazy, maybe. But just the sprint race and the feature were just kind of, I don't know. Like, I found myself watching the 30-minute replay and being happy with it instead of watching the full race replay like I normally watch when I miss the race.
yeah, I agree. I rewatched the race in 30 on F1 TV earlier today, and yeah, it just had me more locked in than watching the 2-hour full race. And even the sprint, wasn't anything special to me.
Yeah, especially it was the same driver winning the sprint and the sprint and the feature. It was just like, can Red Bull just like have a screwed up weekend just once, so Ferrari can be halfway decent,
Yeah, I think this is the first race we've guessed the race winner correctly too, both of us.
Did we get? Oh yeah, that's right.
Unless we've picked Max.
We both had Checo.
Unless we've both picked Max before, but
no sir. We both had Checo. I had Fernando, which that was a kind of a bust, and I had Max at third, which like it was close. Oh. But yeah, should we get to the I guess we could do the sprint rundown. Logan Sargent didn't start because of damage he took. I believe it was the sprint qualifier. So, like I said, leading up to it, will cars want to risk it for a sprint race where they're not going to make any points. There we go. Logan Sargent and the Williams didn't even take the field. Yuki Tsunoda decided to go 3-wheel driving and finish 19th. Esteban Ocon 18th, Lando Norris 17th, Valtteri Bottas 16th, Nico Hülkenberg 15th, Nick DeBris 14th, Pierre Gasly 13th, Zhou Guanyu in 12th, K-Mag in 11th. Do you have yours pulled up, or do you want me to finish the sprint?
Yeah, so Oscar Piastri finishing in 10th, Alex Albon in 9th, Lance Stroll 8th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, Fernando Alonso 6th, Carlos Sainz 5th, George Russell 4th, Max Verstappen in 3rd, Charles Leclerc in 2nd, and old Checo Perez in number 1.
The street king, the street sweeper. Just so good. Just the guy is so good on a street circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really big from the sprint race that I can really point out besides the Alpha Tauris just really just aren't good right now. Yuki Tsunoda blowing a wheel, like just losing a tire in the start of the race, and I guess we'll get into the race and talk about Nick DeBris as well. So I guess I'll do the rundown here. Not unclassified, Nick DeBris, who brought out the only safety car of the race. Zhou Guanyu Zhou, however you're supposed to pronounce it, non-classified in 19th. Valtteri Bottas at 18th. Nico Hülkenberg 17th. Logan Sargent 16th. Esteban Ocon 15th. Pierre Gasly 14th. K-Mag 13th. Alexander Albon 12th. and Oscar Piastri in 11th.
Yeah, and then moving into the points, Yuki Tsunoda finished 10th, so he got the first of the points there. Lando Norris in 9th, George Russell 8th, Lance Stroll 7th, Lewis Hamilton 6th, Carlos Sainz 5th, Fernando Alonso 4th, Charles Leclerc 3rd, Max Verstappen 2nd, and Checo Perez won the Baku Grand Prix, the Street King, like you said, getting it done, making us look great. I think
Yeah,
that's
right?
the highlight of the weekend. He made us look great for our picks. And yeah, I thought it was good that Ferrari finally got on the podium. I think that's a good sign. They were not honey dicking us.
Yeah, the only bad thing about Ferrari getting on the podium is, did you see Charles Leclerc getting blown by both those cars? Like on that front stretch? Like the
Yeah.
Red Bull could have had no DRS and Charles could have had DRS and it wouldn't have mattered.
No, it wouldn't
Like
have.
it was literally Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby gets back into the car. And he's like, "Are those the other cars? How fast am I going? 25 miles an hour?
I'm going so fast.
I'm going fast. He's going like 25 miles an hour. Holy shit. Are those the other cars? But no, like, how do we speak about a race where Ferrari didn't have L screw up all weekend? Like, Ferrari and their strategists and the drivers were pretty consistent.
Yeah, and I think I kind of want to bring up the honey dicking question again. Like, is this just the one weekend success, or is Frank Vasseur finally putting his fingerprints all over that team? And are they kind of turning it around? I guess we have to wait and see.
Yeah, we got Miami coming up. So I guess if they could do it 2 weeks in a row. Nah, Monaco's next. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Imola, then Monaco. So if they do it this week, they may pull it out 3 weeks in a row. But you know Monaco, they're going to screw up big time. Because God forbid Shaw actually win that race.
Or finish it.
Yeah. But no, you know how we talked about before Baku weekend with the Fernando and the Taylor Swift, the Swift possible? Are they? Aren't they? Are they? Aren't they?
Yeah.
Did you catch the radio playback with him and his crew? Like him telling Lance, give Lance my with my brake balance, what I'm running for my brake balance. I think he'll do better with it. Do you think Swifty just likes those good guys and Fernando's just kind of being a nicer teammate now?
I did see that radio message. I didn't think of Taylor Swift when I thought about it, because I saw some comments from Fernando later on as well, talking about how he sees Lance being the main driver at the team, obviously, because he's Lawrence's son, but for the next 10 to 15 years. So he's trying to pass on as much experience as he can right now to Lance. And I think that's just another great veteran move, that radio message, giving him a balance that probably worked better than what he was running before.
But this is also Fernando Alonso, the bad guy of F1, the guy who is the major villain, and like he screws over teammates left and right. He burns bridges. This is what is like burning in my head. I don't get it. Like this does not seem like the Fernando Alonso that I watched in F1 the last 15 years.
Lawrence
I'm just
Stroll.
saying.
Lawrence
I'm just saying.
Stroll.
It's either the Swift effect, or maybe Lawrence is filing adoption papers for Fernando, so Lance could have an older brother. Just throwing it out there.
I believe
Just
that
throwing
more.
it out there. Ouch. Yeah, I think, yeah. You know what? I'd rather him be a part of the Stroll family. Does Fernando roll off the tongue a lot better than Alonso?
No.
No. But overall, my view of the race, besides Nick DeVries messing up his right front suspension and causing a safety car, which kind of dicked Max on the strategy, because they thought, oh, he's just going to pull off. There's going to be no safety car. Red Bull not knowing, oh shit, like he actually had suspension damage and parked it. But besides that, there wasn't much passing. There wasn't much. The overtakes weren't as extreme as you would think for Baku. Normally, Baku is the race where you see these wild late break lunges into turn one overtakes, and this year I just didn't seem to see it.
Yeah, I agree. Just yeah, like you said, Red Bull just making Ferrari look like dummies on track. That was probably the highlight of the race.
Yeah. I know they shortened the DRS on the front stretch. They said 200. I think it was 200 feet. So maybe that had a little bit of something to do with it. But I honestly think, and I heard the P1 guys, Matt and Tommy, talking about it. Do you think it's maybe since Montreal, since we got that epic line of "We'll change your fucking car"? Fix your fucking car. Do you think that maybe that they raise the cars up, they're not as using the ground effect, because the ground effect on these new vehicles were supposed to help with the mechanical grip? Well, since Mercedes complained, they made them raise the cars up so the porpoising would stop. The action since after Montreal has been kind of eh. But before, we had some pretty good battles with Max and Charles the first few races, and it was pretty well competitive. But it seems like after Montreal, it's like, it's Red Bull. They're now leagues above everybody else.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, but now that you mention it, it kind of makes sense. Like, would that have an effect on the downforce of the car?
Yes, so with them kind of going away from all the barge boards, the complicated front wing, they had the ground effect, which is all those tunnels underneath the floor to help suck the car to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they were having issues with early 2022 with the porpoising, that it was doing too well of a job, and that's why you got the bouncing. But it seemed like everybody figured it out besides Mercedes.
Yeah.
But I didn't think of it too until they made mention of it. It was like, wow, holy shit, that makes sense, because I think after Montreal, George won a race, and did anybody else win a race after that was a non-Red Bull? Oh, Carlos, that was it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Carlos at Silverstone and George at Brazil, and that's kind of it. It's been Checo or Max.
Yeah, they need to change something up. Like, it's getting, I guess the theme's like just boring. The races are getting boring, just kind of knowing who's gonna be at the top every single race. Like
Yeah,
at least Max and Checo are kind of fighting each other for the championship, so there's some action there. But I agree, we know who's gonna win.
yeah, it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2,
Yep.
unless something happens to where they take each other out. And does the FIA have to step in and be like, you know what, like maybe we need to lower these cars back down to help kind of get there, because it hasn't helped the racing at all. Like 2022 is supposed to be, all of these cars are way different. They're going to have more mechanical grip. There's no dirty air. But now it's like, well, they raised them back up. And it just seems like cars can't follow like they were the first half of the season last year. It just kind of seems like Toto bitched enough to where, well, we're back to old F1. Like, we're back to one team dominating, and then the other teams only pick the pieces up when that team, shits the bed.
Yeah. Do you want to move away from that and transition into Miami now?
Yeah. Let's go from one dumpster fire to another. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are you stoked for Miami?
I am, yeah. It's always nice having a race in the North American time zones, so we don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to watch the race
Yeah,
over here on the West
not
Coast.
wrong.
But,
Yeah, 7 a.m. on the East Coast was a struggle bus. I think I woke up I watched the first few laps and I was like, hey, this is.
Yeah, same here. But with Miami, I think they said, did they resurface half of the track?
So apparently they resurfaced all the. You can't see me. Quote track. They're gonna have to do it like every year now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because with the surfaces to kind of help. Uh, yeah, but they resurfaced the whole track for this year, and the paddock is now inside the stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins play, which that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I
Like
was
seeing
gonna.
like all the hospitality tents there.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. I saw the flyover on the weekend warm up, and it looked awesome. All the offices in there on the stadium. It's fucking friggin' sick.
Dude, it's okay. I've dropped the F bomb at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
That's what F1 brings to us. It brings a passion out in us fans.
that's what the F stands
But yeah,
for.
F1.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
I was getting ready to say,
No, it's Formula One.
well played. We're the adversary. Well played. But last year, Miami was kind of, eh. I think Sam Collins called it or said best. I was watching some of the Tech Talk today. Uh, it's not a street circuit; it's more of a parking lot circuit. Because they're talking about regular, you know, actually racing circuits, street circuits, but Miami's, I guess, the parking lot circuit. The track just looks way too tight for close quarter passing. It just not entertaining. Last year was a spectacle with the fake marina, the particle board water in the boats that you can rent for 45 grand to watch the race in turn 4. Like I get it. F1 needs to announce its presence in the U.S. district in the U.S. But they gotta do better than this track. Like I look at this race weekend, I'm like, I'm excited because it is a North American race. I want to help it, give it viewership the best I can, but it's like I already know what's gonna be. It's gonna be like last year, and it's gonna be a kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah, and especially hearing from all the drivers how excited they are to be in Miami. You can tell they really enjoy being here. And for the race to be, like you said, kind of boring and, not the greatest. Like, I know they complained a lot about the track last year. So, I don't know how the race is going to go. Like you said, it's probably going to go the way qualifying does. And we know a Red
Yeah,
Bull's going to finish.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember last year who won the Miami
I
GP
believe it was
last year.
Max.
You know what? I had it pulled up the other night, and I was gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll have this ready for when we record," and I totally forgot to save it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's on me, fam. But oh yeah, it was. Why'd I even look? Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yep.
But they also shortened the DRS area, like the one passing area on the track. The DRS is now shortened going into turn 1. So already, yay! Thanks FIA. Can we get Michael Massey back to like at least half of the races? Because at least when he's there, it's utter freaking pandemonium. And if we're not gonna have a good race, at least we're gonna have a cluster of a race.
We need the racing to be better. Let's shorten a DRS zone. Let's shorten a DRS zone.
Yeah. Yes. Let's shorten the DRS zone. Perfect.
That'll fix it.
Yeah, that always fixes it.
But who do you have for your
I'm sorry, go ahead.
qualifying prediction?
You know, I wrote it down the other day, and watching practices today, I'm kind of feeling like I may have overstepped. But as of right now, I have in P3 for quali is going to be El Plan, Fernando Alonso. How about you?
I have the winner from last year, Max Verstappen, finishing 3rd on the podium. I meant not podium, qualifying.
What? Okay. And second, I have Charles Leclerc.
I have Checo.
What the?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So I have Max getting pole. So this is going to be a doozy. I'm ready.
It's Shaw. It's Shaw. I'm with Ferrari. I flipped the coin. I'm back. I'm back.
Oh my god. You know what? I mean, if it's going to be anybody of a Red Bull, it's going to be Shaw because he's been the, you know, he was a pole sitter last week. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Okay. How about since I started, how about you for the podium? Who do you got in third?
I have Checo finishing third on the podium.
Jesus, get out of my freaking notes here. Yeah, I also have Checo because it's not a street circuit. It's a parking lot. Like the king of the streets will be back to normal. P2?
Max Verstappen.
Jesus, yeah, me too. Do we have the same winner again? Who do you have?
Shaw. Shaw
Son of...
all day long.
I shit you not, everybody. I wrote these down the other day, didn't communicate any of my picks to Kyle. Same shit. Same freaking shit.
Really?
Wow.
Thought you were gonna go El Plan
Yeah.
with the win.
No, Shaw. I just think the Red Bulls are gonna probably over race each other. I think Max wants to extend his lead a bit, and I think Shaw sneaks in a sneaky Miami win.
Yeah, same here. I think he's gonna carry some momentum from his podium last race, and I believe they changed a component in his car. It might have been before practice. I can't remember. So hopefully that's a boost for him. He doesn't get a penalty because they're allowed 4 of them a year. I just can't remember what part it was right now. So
That's just shitty. That's just shitty journalism, sir.
yeah,
I expect more than you.
I know.
No, I think it's the AirBuds. I think at the AirPods. I think Shaw's got his AirPods ready. He was relaxed flying over to the States. I think he's ready. I think he's ready, willing to go. And if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, before coming to the States, Shaw was on well, at least I saw it on Instagram. Apparently lost his AirPods, and the guy's fishing him out with tweezers between, the front step and the deck. While wearing a watch that you can buy a house with, and he's sitting there worried about $200 AirPods. I think it was one of the funniest. And hey, F1 drivers are human like us. Like, I could see me or Kyle do the same thing. Like, except we're actually worried about that $200.
Mm-hmm. So I have it right here. It's the MGU-K for Charles Leclerc. That's the component he changed. The motor generator unit kinetic.
The Connecticut. Yeah, okay. All right. Well played, sir. Do you have your last place pick? We almost forgot about that.
I do. I don't think you're going to like it.
Oof. All right, lay it on me, brother.
The home country boy, Logan Sargent. He's going to finish last, whether it be a DNF or just last place.
You know what? I couldn't do that to my boy. Represent the States. I gotta go with Yuki on this one. Like, he was close last week. He was damn close. No, I'm sorry. Yuki was 10. I'm sorry. That was a sprint I was thinking of. But I'm going Yuki. I think tight circuit, green track. I think he sends her hard. Destroys Alpha Tower in the process. Like, I think I'm gonna die on this Yuki hill. Like, until he gets me a last place, I will ride this the Sonoda train.
Yeah, I honestly, I originally wanted to go with Nick Debris just because he has been, it seems like DNFing more often than not on the weekend, and just having so many issues braking and going off track. So, but Logan Sargent, I want the storyline.
Ouch. The home countryman / actually from Florida, so even worse.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Sorry, go ahead.
Couldn't do that to my boy. I couldn't do that to my boy. No, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about all I have for Miami. Do you want to get into some other news around the paddock?
Yes, sir, and I'll let you lead it off.
Yeah, so the first news I have here is they finally dropped a trailer for F123, the game. Looks pretty good. It's
Looks
they
really good.
dropped a release date June 16th. This is going to be the first Formula 1 game I'm getting and hopefully streaming, so it's going to be exciting.
Oh yeah, this will be my 10th-ish, give or take. I always say I'm gonna wait, skip a year in between each game, but I never do it. I just end up getting it every year. Yeah, I'm totally getting it. Uh, First time on a PS5, even better. Like I just can't wait. A little early than normal. Normally it's in July, beginning and middle of July. So I'm really hoping EA is not pushing this, and it's not a glitchy game. But I'm stoked for it. The trailer and the press release has got me more pumped for this game this year than last year's game. So I can't wait. I definitely can't wait to play you in some online matches. We'll do some some private lobbies until you get used to racing and get used to the overheating issues with the tires. Don't cook the tires too much and spin out every other lap.
100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. The trailer looked good. We're getting Breaking Point 2, which Devin Butler, the dick himself from Breaking Point 2 years ago, starts his own team. Great story mode. Can't wait for that. They said they're going to fix the handling issues and throttle issues from last year's game, which thank you freaking Jesus, because if anybody who's listening played last year's game, it was kind of a shit show, not going to lie. I used to play on about 95 difficulty, and last year I think I bumped it down to 80, and it was still like you could not get hard on the throttle. Like the throttle response was ridiculous. Just so twitchy. Even F1 drivers were like, "Yeah, this is not how an F1 car drives." They've apparently patched and fixed that. So, oh man, I can't wait. Like next month, it's next month too. Even better. The Champions Edition, you get 4 brand new champions to run in my team icons. Normally, you get the basic Michael, Ayrton, Prost, Nico Rosberg was in it. Mika Hakkinen was in last year's. We had Nico Hulkenberg, Mark Webber, other guys. So I'm kind of excited who these 4 new champions we can use in my team are going to. Seb's got to be one of them.
Oh yeah. Now, is that my team worth playing? Is it anything like the NHL Hut Ultimate Team? Because that stuff was so play to win. I had no interest in it.
Oh no! So my team is pretty much you start your own team.
Oh, okay.
So you create your. I'll even explain it for all you new F1 fans that are probably listening. The millions of new fans that are listening to the show. So you pretty much start your own start the 11th team on the grid. You go create the name. You pick your engine supplier. You pick your second driver, and then you go from. You just develop your car. You get so many resource points a week, depending on practice sessions and all that, how much you run. And then you do upgrades and developments to your car. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they don't, and you just keep upgrading. And even throughout the year too, like engine suppliers go from maybe Mercedes this year is the best. Next year it could be Honda or Red Bull power unit, or maybe in 3 years the Ferrari is a better power unit. It gets pretty in depth. Normally around season 3 or 4 is when you're one of the top teams, but like there's always regulation changes to where you have to redevelop your car to keep it within the regulations. It gets really, really, really detailed compared to other games. I'm hoping this year they get a little bit more detailed because I'm that kind of nerd. But yeah, I like it. It's fun, and plus you can customize your own schedule too. And they're adding Vegas and the Qatar track. They're supposed to be released from what I saw. Hopefully, and then they're going to have Portugal Uh, China. I'm sorry, China
Jane.
is going to be in it. China. And there was one more track that is escaping me. But I love it. Like every year, it's the best racing game you can buy. The F1 game because NASCAR is. Well, they haven't had one in 2 years, and the last one they did was a complete another shit show. There's no indie games. There's supposed to be one released this year, and the same company making the NASCAR games decided they're not going to release the indie game this year, and we'll hopefully get it next year. So,
Yep.
right now, F1, this is the time to shine.
Mm-hmm. With you speaking of that 11th team as well, just moving on to some other news. I don't know if you saw this, but Brad Pitt, he's going to be driving an F1 car, quote unquote, at Silverstone.
Yeah, and as I was saying it, I totally forgot to write down in my notes. And as I said, you're the 11 team in the game. Like my brain compartments and departments was like, holy shit, we forgot to talk about this. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm stoked because they've been talking about this movie for a good year now. I think Hamilton's actually a producer on the show on the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna enter in 11th. Like, the car's made by Mercedes, so obviously. But yeah, Brad Pitt's gonna be on track, and I guess his secondary driver in the movie is gonna be in it, and they're gonna be like on the grid with the F1 cars during, I guess, like practice sessions and I'm sure some filming sessions. Dude, I'm stoked for this movie even more now. Like they're actually doing these practical effects, which Joseph Kaczynski, who is, I don't know if he's, I know he's producing, I don't know if he's directing, but this is a
He,
man who just made Top Gun Maverick last year, which was all practical effects, which was all guys in the cockpit of these fighters. Tron Legacy, just fantastic director. Like, I'm really stoked for this.
yeah, so like you said, yeah, Kaczynski is going to be directing it, and then Jerry Bruckheimer is going to be producing it.
Okay.
And I saw them say it's closer related to an F2 car than it is an actual F1 car that he'll be driving. And supposedly
Okay.
it's going from Silverstone until the end of the season. So I don't know if they're going to be
Yep.
doing scenes every single weekend. Probably.
It looks like, and I'm stoked. Um, and I was thinking it was going to be more like Days of Thunder type, where they had the car on the track on different tracks with like this huge, film camera on the hood, and it's just so you can get in the cockpit and like just get your peripheral vision, slow driving. But it looks like it's gonna be more like I think Will Buxton brought it up in the weekend warm up, like the Grand Prix movie from the '60s, where like they pretty much just threw a car out with the rest of these drivers and
Hmm.
filmed like actually film stuff with them going at decent speed. So now I need to watch the Grand Prix movie to see what we're getting into.
Yeah. And also from what I've been reading, it is going to be filmed a lot in the style of Top Gun Maverick. And they developed a new 6K camera that's going to fit right in the cockpit. So we're going to be getting scenes from inside the cockpit. I think it's going to be amazing.
Um, well, like I said, Kaczynski doing Top Gun Maverick, like you got the director for this that can make probably one of the best racing movies now of all time. And I'm pretty sure it's not even like a big released film. I think it's like if I remember them last year talking about it, an Apple TV movie, like an Apple movie.
Hmm.
Um, so, but I'm stoked. Like since last year when they talked about it and they signed Brad Pitt to play, the aging driver who's got one more year left until retirement. Like the more and more you see about it, I'm like, let's go, boys. Let's do this.
Yeah. Even yeah, Lewis Hamilton is like a consultor, like you said. I think he's been providing a lot of information to them on how they can make it as realistic as possible.
Hmm. Interesting. And you gotta think too, like you have the visor cams that F1 does like now every week with for F1 races. Like if we have visor cams that are so small. I just can only imagine what Kaczynski's going to bring out for this movie. Like, what kind of stunning shots we're going to get? What kind of pictures we're going to get? Like, I really can't wait for this. Like, I'm stoked.
Yeah,
Like, I
especially
wish
with
we
a
would have went to
6K camera.
Montreal. Oh wait, no, because Silverstone's right after Montreal, so we wouldn't be able to be in the film. Damn it!
Nope.
I think we're gonna have to break into and hijack one of the races so we can get on camera. What do you think this year?
Sounds good.
Just sneak into the paddock in Vegas, just so we can get a quick like half-second cameo.
Yeah.
It'll last just long enough for us to get kicked out by the big burly security guards they have in the paddock.
Oh, yeah. Las Vegas will be like friggin', what's that military fort? Fort Knox, man? Tickets selling for $1 million?
Oh, yeah.
No one's getting into
Yeah,
that place.
yeah, I can't believe. No, I know you told me this before we went on air, but like, no way. Like, I can't believe anybody paying $1 million to go see an F1 race. I know it's Vegas, but shit, that's a lot of damn money.
Yeah, and I trust it because I saw it on Twitter from Fastest Pit Stop. If you don't follow that account, you should. Because, yeah, it said a ticket package was offered and purchased for $1 million to the Las Vegas GP, which is just insane to me. I mean, if you have the money, go for it, I guess.
And I thought Miami was ridiculous because they think they were charging. They raised the prices this year from last year. I think it was like $650 for a 3-day general admission pass for the race, which is you don't get a seat, you just kind of stand and just watch the race from the fence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just can only imagine. Oh shit, man. Okay, yeah, let's just sneak into Vegas. It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of all I've got written down for this week. You got anything else?
Nope, that was it for me.
Well, I guess that brings a close to this episode. Again, I thank all the listeners, all the millions and millions of listeners out there that give us our support. Just keep listening. The more we broaden out, the more content we can produce, and the more fun we can have. I'm just really waiting for this video game to come out so we can actually get some streaming going and mess with some of these fans out here. But again, thank you for listening. It's always a blast talking F1 with you guys. I've been Scott.
I've been Kyle.
Again, thanks for listening. Enjoy Miami.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Paddock Talk. Don't forget to like and share the episode, and check us out at Paddock Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord.